So, in Moldova, recently, Eastern European gangs have been caught trying to smuggle nuclear materials into the Middle East and sell them to terrorists. So, let that set in for a second. In the town of Chisinau, Moldova, local authorities, have been working with the FBI throughout the past 5 years, and they have interrupted four attempts by gangs with Russian connections that sought to sell radioactive material to radioactive materials to Middle Eastern terrorists. So that's the story itself is fascinating enough on its own. That's about it, pretty much for the story. But what I really want to talk about is what some of the people here in this article are saying about it and what I think this means for the future. Um, there's a bunch of people here. There's one Harvard professor here who led a secret study for the Clinton administration on the security of Russia's nuclear arsenal. But what he had to say about the whole situation was, in the state of in the age of the Islamic State, it is especially terrifying to have real smugglers of nuclear bomb materials apparently making connections with real buyers, is what he said. And there was another Moldovan police officer who said, "We can expect more of these cases." So basically, what they're saying is that this is going to be happening more often and just more frequently and more often. So I think that this is incredibly terrifying because I think personally that the prospect of a Islamic State nuclear bomb or a Taliban nuclear bomb or even an Al Qaeda nuclear bomb is much more horrifying than an Iranian nuclear bomb. It goes to show that, see, like, of course the FBI is working with Moldova and whatnot to thwart this, but since this is happening more and more recently, it's gonna slip through the cracks recently, and I think it's ridiculous that we're putting so many priorities on keeping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, which obviously we should. That's why we have the Iran deal, so that they don't get a nuclear weapon. I'm not saying that we should just let them get it, but we're putting so much concentration on that. We're forgetting that terrorists like ISIS, well, they're more of an oppressive state at this point, but that there are organizations like ISIS that are trying every day to get a nuclear weapon for the explicit purpose of doing harm to innocents. And the fact that we haven't been putting more um, more thought into that is astounding. We have throughout history, well, at least recent history, we have this weird nuclear weapon priority problem where we feared so much about a Iraqi nuclear weapon and now an Iranian nuclear weapon, and what was going on with during the era of Iraq early 2000s. Well, we were saying, "Oh, Iraq has nuclear weapons, we need to invade." What happened in North Korea? They went and they got a nuclear weapon and it went completely under the radar. We didn't do anything about it. And now they are definitely a much more dangerous state than Iraq ever was. North Korea is much more likely to indiscriminately nuke someplace much more than Iraq would have. And now we're focusing so much on an Iranian nuclear weapon, trying to prevent them from getting one, that we're completely forgetting about an Islamic State nuclear bomb or something like that. And I feel like, well, we're putting so much effort into Iran not getting a nuke, ISIS is just going to get one. And honestly, I think an ISIS bomb would be much more dangerous than an Iranian bomb because, Iran has they're at least somewhat sane. Like, they're still an Islamic theocracy, but at least they have some notion of understanding the world. And I don't know, I'm rambling at this point, but you get the point. We need to be putting more effort into making sure that ISIS doesn't get a nuclear bomb. We got to put more effort into stopping ISIS in general. That is what is really important. Nowadays, I feel like ISIS is probably the most dangerous threat that is actually here right now. And let me clarify that I am not stupid and ignorant and think that ISIS could send some army to our shores. I obviously that's not possible. I finished recording this video, but I just wanted to put this out there so nobody thought I actually thought this. But what I think is most dangerous about ISIS globally is their global reach and their message. Because so many people from all over the world constantly go to ISIS because they believe in their cause. Of course, that's awful, but with that type of global reach, whatever they say, they can just do. They essentially have thousands of agents in all sorts of different civilized countries all over the world, and they can just do whatever they want in terms of that. So they have a very large global reach. So that's why I'm saying that they're the most dangerous, like right now, not in terms of them just being able to send an army to our shores. Obviously, that would probably be China. But anyways, so that's gonna do it. Nothing much else to say. So thank you for watching, and this is Luke from Electric Vent signing off.